Hello, friends. Welcome back to How Come. This is episode 21. We are releasing it early. Today is Saturday, if you had not noticed. Maybe you're too hungover. But yeah, I wanted to release it because we talk about Skankfest a lot in this episode. We talk about last year, but Skankfest is currently going on right now in New York City. If you want to go see some amazing comedy, Skankfest is put on by the Legion of Skanks podcast. Big J. Okerson, Dave Smith, and Louis Gomez. They put on an amazing comedy festival. So much fucking fun stuff. I got to be on the first pop-up show last night. Ari Shaffir brought me up. Then I got to bring up Steve Renazizi, the guy from The League. It was like people are in town. Like Dave Attell's going to be there. Jim Norton. It's going to be amazing. This episode, Ralph Sutton, who owns Gas Digital Network, which is the network that Legion of Skanks is on. He's one of our guests, as well as Lindsey Jennings, who did the Naked Roast Battle last year, and she's doing Roast Battle this year. So if you want to go to Skankfest, go to skankfestnyc.com. And as always, if you want to come, obviously, this is the place to do that. We are sponsored again this week by Womanizer. We love them so much. I used the Womanizer Premium last week. It is not yet available in America, but if you sign up for our Patreon for as little as $1, that means $1 a month, you pay us, and we send you like fun extras and stuff, and you get entered to win and Womanizer Premium. I have 2 of them from Womanizer, so it's going to be amazing. I'm going to also do you can tag on the Instagram as soon as I put it up, but that's not going to be yet. Your chances are better if you just subscribe to the Patreon. $1, patreon.com/howcome. Again, that's patreon.com/howcome. And yeah, the second you donate $1, you're entered to win a fucking Womanizer Premium. And yeah, you guys are gonna love this episode. It's all about sex, drugs, and rock and roll. And as always, we'll have extras on the Patreon. This episode was actually full of shit, so we have like 30 minutes of extras that are going to go up on the Patreon on Wednesday, and those are for our $7 a month tier patrons. So yeah, enjoy this episode, and maybe I'll see you at Skankfest. All right. It's just so I don't forget, because I have done that before, where I'll do an entire one, and I'm like, okay, that's a great place to wrap up.
And you didn't record it?
And I didn't record it.
Are you fucking kidding me?
The original Zoom, the one before this, the H4, that's the H6, right? Mm-hmm. The H4, you had to press record twice for it to start. So the first would like put it in standby, and then the second would record. And I mean, I was backstage with Def Leppard.
Cool.
We had like 20 minutes to do an interview, and I forgot to press record. I mean, I only hit it once.
That's terrible.
It was really horrible.
All right, so yeah, let's start the episode.
How come? How come? How come I can't achieve? How come I can't achieve? I'm rolling up my sleeves. I'm rolling up my sleeves. Oh baby, I believe these guests can help. 'Cause I can't do it by myself. I wanna jizz.
Hello, guys. Welcome back to How Come. This is episode 21. I would say it's like a very much cooler episode than... I don't want to like insult the rest of our guests, but our guests today are very fucking cool. Lindsey Jennings is a comedian and a suicide girl.
Yeah.
Cool.
What up?
Did you know that?
I did not know that.
Okay.
You know suicide girls?
We were just discussing that these two have met before. One of them
Multiple
may or may
times.
not remember.
It's a not. It's not a may not. It's a not. But now I sort of remember.
I mean, how could you not? Our other guest is the wonderful Ralph Sutton. He is the host, creator of the SDR show, Sex, Drugs, Rock and Roll podcast, and creator of Gas Digital. Yeah, an amazing podcast network that has some of the best. A lot of our fans come from Skanks people.
Nice.
We met at Skankfest
Last year.
Lindsey did the Naked Roast Battle.
I remember that.
And she murdered a Naked Roast Battle. If you don't understand, is a roast battle where the judges are naked, the host is naked, the contestants are naked, and it is just like a roast battle is all like I did my first roast battle this year.
Oh yeah.
You were there. Oh,
Congratulations.
It was against Mark.
You
I was there.
I wasn't there,
You
but
were there too? Okay, cool.
I was texting you that day.
Yeah. You were like, you'll be fine.
Yeah. I was like, it's fucking Mark. Don't worry.
We love you, Mark. No, he really eased me into it. But even like that roast was like so nerve wracking.
Yeah.
I can't imagine being nude. You obviously looked amazing. You had the best stage presence. Like every time she would say a joke, like she would kind of do like a little dance afterwards too.
Yeah, that's probably just so I felt more comfortable. I don't know. I'm pretty comfortable naked since I do Suicide Girls.
Yeah, I mean, that seems to be probably most of them are maybe their first time naked on stage, I would imagine.
Right, yeah,
so
exactly. Yeah, so.
I would just ask to be a judge. And it's funny, Lewis got 2 words screwed up because I have never gone to the naked roast. And he said,
really?
He goes, Ralph, you're a voyeur, right? You could do naked roast battle as a judge. I said, absolutely. And he goes, oh, you don't mind getting naked? I'm like, no, that exhibitionist. That's not voyeur. And I'm out. So I'm not doing it.
Oh, you're not going to get naked?
Well,
I didn't even fucking see the judges' dicks because I wanted to.
They were under the table by the time you came out.
Yeah, and everybody was going on about how big Earl's dick was.
Earl's dick, he like jacked off beforehand.
Well, Oh, it was so creepy.
He like was
backstage.
maintaining like a half chub the entire time.
Oh my God. I hated everything about being backstage because it was like the guys didn't want to go out there, like completely flaccid. So they're all just sitting there touching their dicks, trying to make sure. And then they're like looking at the girls. I'm like, don't fucking look at me, dude. Like, go get the fuck out of here.
Zach Amico had a lantern hanging from his dick.
Didn't he put a mousetrap on his dick too?
Something like
yeah. And then he cut his head open.
And then Ari Shafir poured a cup of his piss on him.
Yeah, that was the most disgusting thing I've ever
That
experienced.
was peed out live. Yeah, it was a lot.
I'm really glad I missed that one.
But my pussy was never out before that, like on stage. Like I've been like in a G-string on stage with Suicide Girls.
But with Suicide
Burlesque.
Girl art,
Can you explain
what about the actual...
for my more demure listeners what a Suicide Girl is?
So Suicide Girls is a website. It started
I don't know why
as
you're pointing at me, but okay.
Ralph is one of my more demure listeners.
Yeah, so it's a website. It's basically like a social media site, and it started around the time of, I think even before MySpace. So it was one of like the first like.
Oh no, I remember.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you like Suicide Girls then?
I just remember. I think there was a show about it on VH1 or something that was coming out.
Showtime, I think.
Or Showtime, yeah. And I was like, oh, what an interesting. But yeah, they
so,
have a lot of tattoos.
Yeah, it's like you don't have to have tattoos, but it's generally these like alternative tattooed girls, nude models, and they do like a tasteful photo set. And you don't even have to show your vagina on there. So I actually don't show my vagina on there.
Yeah.
Vagina.
I dated a Suicide Girl for a little bit, but nothing ever really happened. Lux, you know her? She's really
Lux.
cool.
Suicide.
Cool chick.
I love Lux. I was on the Weekend Sex with Lux.
Super cool chick. Yeah.
I see her butt a lot on my Instagram.
Yeah.
Nothing ever really happened with us. We went on a couple of dates. She's really nice.
She's really great. Yeah.
Yeah, she's cool. I don't actually know her, but like we follow each other. I don't know. There's so many Suicide Girls. It's hard to keep.
There's
up
a lot.
with them.
I think they missed a lot of opportunity, Suicide Girls, because it's such a great brand.
Yeah.
But for some reason, they don't do any like co-branding. Like I've never seen a Suicide Girls night at a club. I've never seen them take over a strip club. I think there's a lot of branding opportunities that they've never done.
Well, do you know that they have a tour that they do?
That I know, but it's still I still think it could be a far more valued brand than it is right now.
Yeah, I think probably, but they're interesting with the way they run things. It's like, they hardly pay any of the girls.
Right, that's the other part
do
of it.
anything.
You do all of your own shit, right?
Yeah, so it's like you really have to brand yourself if you're gonna. But it's like a brand that's known. But if you want to make money doing it, you have to like do your own shit.
It's like
and figure out a way to do that.
Avon, like they'll say that you're an Avon girl, but at the end of the day, you have to go to all the houses and sell your sell your pussy.
Yeah, but I'm one of the few lucky girls who actually does get paid by them a lot because I go on the tour. I do comedy on the tour now. I did burlesque on the tour years ago, which I was never like really a dancer, but I tried out.
Okay, cool.
And I made it, so I was like, all right, I can freestyle dance a little bit. But yeah, I did the tour as a dancer for 2 years, and then I started doing comedy, and then they were like, oh, we'd love to have you like open the show. So now I'm doing that. So I did 2 months in the spring. I'm going to do 3 months with them in the fall. We get paid decently, so it's
so fun.
But I mean, they had a Suicide Girl burlesque show in New York. I would go every week.
Totally.
Actually, you know what? I forgot. There's so many things they're doing, but I think they are trying to open a venue in LA, which would be like that, which would have like Suicide Girls performing all the time.
Right. But I mean, the brand's been around for 20 years. What have they been waiting for is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't run that shit. I'm just a cohort.
When you like, I know that you've dated a suicide girl.
Yeah,
You used to work in a strip club.
yeah.
And you used to date a lot of those girls
I've
as
dated
well.
a lot of porn stars and strippers and, you know, the girls that made my mother really proud when I brought them home.
Yeah. Do you know how I know all of this about Ralph?
How?
Because I watched his episode of Queer Eye for the Straight Guy.
Yeah,
You were on Queer Eye for the straight guy.
But
Wait.
the old
The
series,
old
15
series.
years
Oh
ago.
my! Is
yeah.
it as good as the current? Because I
It's
fucking love the current one,
different.
but I never watched the
It's
old
different.
one.
Have you watched the new one yet?
I've not watched the new one.
Okay.
I think it's
GVN.
far more gayer, the new one, right? I mean, it's much more.
Far more gayer.
It's probably more accepted to be gayer now.
yeah,
too.
here's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know though. I mean, like the old one's pretty gay. The new one, it's interesting because it's just called Queer Eye. They don't only make over straight guys anymore because they acknowledge that like there are gay guys that don't have their shit together. There are
Right.
straight women
True.
that don't have their shit together. Yeah, so it's cute. All the episodes make you cry.
Yeah, that's a little different. Like I was with Sal Volcano last night.
Yeah.
And he told me that every episode he's watched has made him cry
You
on middle
sob.
episode.
You sob.
Yeah, but the old series, I don't think that really happened much.
No, I don't think that was the point.
No, that wasn't the pacing of it.
Was
at
it
all.
more like they
The-
were mean before, like you need to get your shit
Yeah.
together?
Yeah,
or
they
were
were
like,
like-
supportive about it.
Exactly. They were like, "Oh my god, like men are disgusting.
Yeah,
and
they
we
did-
need to change them."
They destroyed my apartment. You know,
Yeah.
like, but I purposefully.
but it looked amazing.
Yeah, I wanted to make a story, so I stopped cleaning my apartment for a month before they came.
Who nominated? It was your brother that nominated. you,
No,
right? Or
actually,
no?
so I came from radio, had a nationally syndicated radio show for about 15 years.
Right.
And they were looking for radio people, and my show was on at the time, like 60, 70 stations, and they were new.
Mm-hmm.
So they came to me in the beginning. They were looking for a radio guy. My
Cool.
co-host suggested me, but when they saw that it was radio, they hadn't really had ratings yet, because I think one episode had aired.
Yeah.
But then when I shot it, I didn't go on until like the end of the first season. So by the time I came on,
It was
enormous.
Yeah.
It was enormous.
Oh my god.
So how did they ruin your apartment?
It was not ruined at all.
No, I mean, they made it
great.
beautiful at the
Yeah,
end. But I'm saying,
yeah.
when they came in, their whole shtick back then was we were going
Oh,
to
yeah.
destroy the apartment before we make it over. So they literally were breaking things,
Yeah.
throwing things on the floor. It was much more of a,
It's
you know,
traumatizing.
Yeah, more they were going to tear you up kind of thing and then rebuild you.
Rebuild,
Yeah, the idea.
like a serotinous plant.
And it was a week, but you were supposed to pretend it's a day.
Oh, really? I think they like know it's a week now.
Oh, no, yeah, no, we
they
had-
have
It
to
is,
have
yeah.
they have to have the bonding time, honestly, in order to make you cry.
Oh, yeah, it makes more sense.
And they
Yeah.
always have to like force the guy to propose to his girlfriend,
Not always,
but only after he's like too hot for her now.
oh my god, yeah. But it's when they want, when the girlfriend wants them to propose, because that would suck. Imagine like
They'd be like, "Oh wait, no."
I actually recently just watched a bunch of videos of people saying no to like big proposals in public.
I always think a lot of those are bullshit.
Well,
I think they're fake.
There was definitely some that were fake, like this acting is terrible, but there were some that definitely seemed real too. And I think a lot of people, there's got to be so many things to it. It's like, first of all, wouldn't you know your spouse enough that you would know that they wouldn't like something like that, like being in public? Like there's some people who don't want a public engagement.
that's true.
And then I think other ones might be like they're in an emotionally abusive relationship or something, and the guy's doing it in public because he wants to pressure her
That's
to say
funny.
yes, or they're nervous, they're insecure, and they know she's going to say no, so they want to pressure her to say yes. So they do it on the kiss cam of a fucking baseball game or something.
Yeah, that's really manipulative, and if you have to pressure that's
Yeah.
probably not going to be the best.
Yeah.
But I was thinking about this the other day. Like, would you want to have the conversation beforehand, assuming that you guys want to get married? Like, would you have the conversation
If you're going to do a big reveal or just in general?
in general?
In general,
like,
you'd
before
think you would
have
have.
the proposal. Yeah.
I think these
Or have
you
an
would
idea,
know.
at
But
least.
a lot of people live in a delusional state. I mean, you just watch any of those singing shows where people think they have good voices or anything. I think people will make themselves think whatever they need to think to make themselves get through a daily life, you know. But I actually have had 2 different women propose to me in my life.
Really?
Yeah, 2.5. One was a sort of
One was very short.
like one was like a sort of proposal, but the other 2 were like flat out proposals.
Wait, and you said no?
I said no. Yeah, I'm a very honest person.
Or is this pre-Queer Eye?
Well, one of them was the girl right before Queer. Nothing since Queer Eye.
PQE.
Prequel.
Yeah, PQE.
Quirrell.
Nothing since Queer Eye.
Nothing since. Oh, so they ruined you
Yeah,
actually.
yeah. I've been single now for over 10 years. I've been single.
It's Carson Kressley's fault.
Yeah, it's all Carson's fault.
Who was your favorite at the
They
time?
were all super cool, but
Okay.
Carson, I stayed friends with. Carson did SDR show once.
Oh, nice.
And he actually, when that show was crazy popular, he did Oprah, Letterman, and then my radio show, which is pretty crazy
That's
that he
massive.
did that.
Well, you guys are always on like the top of the charts.
The SDR show, but this is
Yeah.
my radio show.
Yeah.
SDR is always in like the top 50 of
Yeah.
comedy.
I want to know, like, where are they now? I'm sure there's an article online I could find. Old Queer Eye, where are they now?
No, Carson's killing
Carson's
it.
still
Yeah,
doing really.
Yeah.
They're all doing something. Ted, which was the food guys on the Food Network all the time.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
The decorator guy. Is it the same? Do they still have the same like 5 specialties on the new
Yes.
one?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Is there a lifestyle guy like the little guy Jay?
Yeah, Karamo. He's the lifestyle
Karamo
guy.
is lifestyle,
Oh,
yeah.
I
Yeah,
love
that's funny.
Karamo.
Do you remember Karamo from Real World?
No, I don't. I
Yeah.
don't think I watched Real World
Oh,
then.
okay.
I watched it when I was like 5 to 15.
I'm like a reality TV savant.
Yeah.
I have like
Oh my
problems.
god. Do you like Survivor?
No, that's the only one I don't watch.
I knew a casting director because she casted me for something else, and she was like, "I think you'd be great for Survivor." So I like,
You should do Naked and Afraid.
oh my god,
If you
my
could do
sister said I
Survivor
should do that too.
and be naked.
I'm terrified of that, but I almost did Survivor, but I couldn't do it because I was naked on the internet. But they like, I got up to like, I made like all these videos and shit. It
Because
was
you were
ridiculous.
naked, they wouldn't allow you on the show.
Yeah, because it's like a family network or
Wow,
whatever.
that's crazy.
I know, that's so stupid.
It's so stupid.
And you can't get into WWE either. I want to be a
Really?
wrestler.
But so
I'm like,
many.
I think
Wait
I'd
a
be
minute.
good.
What's her name's?
Paige has a gangbang
Yeah,
on the
Flair-
fucking internet.
Ric Flair's
Ooh.
daughter, right?
That's Ric Flair's daughter.
No, is there a Flair? There's someone Flair.
Oh, I don't
There's
know.
a girl Flair. The guy, Wonder Boy's daughter is a
Yeah,
wrestler.
Nature Boy.
Nature, and I just saw naked pictures of her on the internet yesterday.
Oh yeah, see, they're all, but it's like as long as it
We
comes
have
out
a
after they're already established.
Our first lady has naked pictures on the internet.
she
like,
does, Melania.
are you joking?
Yeah.
I know nothing.
Oh my god.
And Melania could not get into WWE. She tried.
Yeah. You can get into the White House, just not the WWE.
Her husband was on WWE.
What a
though.
world. What a world. Okay, no. So what I was going to ask you before about dating strippers and any of the women who are like out there in the world who've got naked pictures, like how has that always been for you?
It's never bothered me. Like
Okay.
I always, so especially when I was a strip club DJ for over a decade.
Okay.
And I always felt that, look, I'm here and I'm a pretty normal dude.
Yeah.
So if they're there, what's the difference? I don't ever hold, as long as you're, what in my head, my caveat is if you're doing something illegal that I'm not cool with, then we probably couldn't date. But other than
Yeah.
that, it doesn't bother me. I don't. It does, just because you have sex with someone on camera, it doesn't bother. I don't know. I'm very different looking.
Wait.
Okay.
But yeah. Okay, I was gonna say wait. No, so you dated porn stars. I forgot about that. But yeah, would you?
You're like strippers. Oh, okay.
Okay, all right. Would you date like a escort? 'Cause
No, that's illegal. That's
but
illegal.
what if you were in a country where it was legal?
That's a good question. I've never been in that situation, so I can't
See,
answer
we've
that.
had a lot of these arguments where I'm like, oh, I didn't want to do that because it's illegal, but I smoke weed every day and that's illegal. You know
Right.
what I
And
mean?
then a friend,
So-
one of my father's friends, he was very vehemently against anyone that does drugs.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, well, what if weed's going to become legal within the next 5 years?
Yeah, how do you feel?
When it becomes legal, what do you think? He goes, no, I'm still against it. So that's weird.
Right.
Like I understand weed is it's such a casual drug at this point. Everyone does it.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
and I've very minimal experience in drugs. Just
Yeah.
do it on SDR once in a while.
Yeah.
Because I think it's funny.
Yeah.
I've once every 6 months I try a drug on air.
That's
Yeah, gotta feel that
amazing.
Just to see what it's like. I've never tried anything.
No, I need to listen to all
Yeah,
those
I've tried
episodes.
Molly. I've tried edibles. None of it goes well. I've tried. I've tried mushrooms. I'm not a. It doesn't
You're
work.
not a
Drugs.
drug
I'm not a
guy.
drug person.
That's
I have
good.
too much
Do you
OCD
get
and
affected,
control.
though?
Yeah, I think
Okay.
somewhat, but I think I'm so need to be in control of my faculties that I don't let it. I can't just steer into it.
You can't just be chill about it.
Yeah,
You're
I
like
can't.
you think too hard going into it. So
Yes.
you're like,
Yeah.
but so I think that I probably would have ended up being an escort at some point in my life if it was legal, and I think it should be legal because that's. Prostitutes are the people that get murdered the most because they're in all these shady situations where they're hiding
Totally.
out and nobody knows where they
I
are.
think everything should be legal. Everything on the planet should
I
be legal.
agree, but just taxed depending on how dangerous it is for you. So, like, you can do heroin, but it's going to cost you like $5,000.
Well, alcohol is like almost as dangerous as heroin.
Is it?
And that's, alcohol besides heroin is like the next most addictive substance, right? And that's totally legal.
But
Plus,
I feel like, but you
people
can do
are getting into
alcohol.
accidents constantly,
Can you do heroin every day and
not die.
not die?
Probably if you did the smallest
Small.
amount.
If
Like
If you want to
if
do a
knew
drug
your-
to kill
I'm not
yourself,
saying-
do a fucking drug to kill yourself.
Yeah,
I don't
fucking
understand.
die if you want
If you're
to.
home, If you're by yourself and you're not injuring anyone else, who gives a shit?
Well, that's exactly what alcohol is like. Yeah. So why not just tax all the fucking drugs? And if you want to die, that's on you. I mean, you can basically get heroin from a doctor.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think if prostitution was legal, there'd be a lot less murders and crimes in the world.
100%.
There's a lot less guys that had pent up aggressions.
Well, I look at places like Australia, it's totally legal, and their murder rate is like so low compared to ours.
Yeah.
Prostitutes aren't getting murdered.
I wrote a paper in 9th grade about how prostitution should be legalized.
Yeah.
Like, legit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like got more impressed through the yeah.
Like, what is she about to say about 9th grade and prostitution? No, I wrote an essay and I was like, here's why. And like, first of all, a lot of them aren't even paying taxes. So if you're just thinking about like the general American and you want...
Wow,
oh my
must
God,
be true.
I was like,
Is that a ferry? Are we near water?
Yeah, no, but if you think about it like from like the taxpayers, like you're actually losing money right now from women who are receiving an income and their pimps, you know, who are also receiving an income, which I think is so, they're always at the mercy of their pimp because that's the one who can protect them.
And then there's sex trafficking issues. That's a whole other thing.
Yeah. We should, everything should be nice and legal.
If cocaine was legal tomorrow, it's not going to make me want to do cocaine.
Yeah. I used to sniff those Sharpie markers.
I love that.
And I'd always have colors on the tip of my nose. And people would be like, Remy, were you just doing? I'd be no.
I haven't been doing anything.
No, I didn't do anything. Were you a pervert kid? I was a pervert kid. Okay.
Oh, yeah. What do you mean? How were you a pervert?
Like just starting out early. Like I would like trick my friends. That sounds really bad. But like, you know, like you'd always be like more into back tickles than the other girls at the sleepover.
Yeah. No, I don't think I was like the creepy one. But I definitely started young. Like I started masturbating when I was 3. I can remember.
Whoa.
What?
Yeah, I can remember getting yelled at like for touching myself.
You're our youngest one so far.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so I've always been masturbating, and I can remember like knowing it was like that I wasn't supposed to doing it, but like sneaking it under the blanket, like being in the living room, laying on the floor, sneaking it under the blanket. And I remember being like 5 and watching the scrambly porn.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know,
But
on
when
your
you were
cable.
3 and you start playing with yourself, do you have a memory of that first time you were doing that?
I don't know. I don't exactly.
So I'm wondering how you figured out, if I do this.
I don't know. I've just been. Oh, what?
This is going to feel good to me. You know, like, I don't know.
Well, I think a lot of children do. You know,
I don't
I've
remember.
I remember talking to some preschool teacher about this, and she said like a lot of children touch themselves, and it's not good to shame them for it. So I probably got shamed for it. So then I was like, ooh, this is something that I'm not supposed to do.
I remember
and then
being
I
like
keep doing
7.
it.
That's my first memory of it. Like,
Of coming though, or just
no,
doing
just
something?
just like playing.
coming.
Okay.
I don't even know if anything. I mean, I don't know what would come out at that point. Just air. I don't know.
Like dust.
Yeah.
No, I used to be a camp counselor for like little girls, and like they'd always like grind on my legs.
Really?
And I'd be like, don't do that, guys, like
Like
or
a
whatever. And
dog.
they'd be like, why? It feels good. And I'd be like, I know, but like I don't know what to say to you right now.
Yeah. You don't want to shame them for it.
My friend had a little sister when we were in high school who was like 3. She was like a little accident, and she would hump those, you know, like the awning poles in the
That's
city,
awesome.
and she'd like slide down them, and we'd be like, don't do that. And she'd be
Yeah.
like, but I love it.
I remember saying, like, me and my sister doing it, and like saying, like, my mom being like, "Don't do that," and I'd be like, "But it holds my pee in. I'm just holding my pee in."
But when you were doing, would you be in the room with other people?
Well, I can remember a specific memory. I don't know how old I was, but definitely really young. I just can remember being under this like certain blanket that we always had in the living room, and just like being on the floor and touching myself. So yeah, I would do it with the other people in the room. I remember being 14 and masturbating on a plane, sitting in between my little brother and my grandma. Why was my little brother on the aisle seat? I should have got the aisle seat. Anyway.
Maybe because he would have to pee more, and you were good at holding
Maybe
it in
you-
because
maybe-
you had learned that
Because I
trick.
learned how to
He
hold
was trying to
learned that
hide
little
his
trick.
sister who's playing with herself from the stewardess.
Yeah. I remember I had a blanket on and I was like doing it under. I was so horny all the time when I was young. I remember masturbating in class. I had a North Face jacket. So I would like put the jacket on and I'd be so hot. My face would be turning red because I'd be sweating, but I'd be like, nah, under
Wow.
the jacket.
But would you finish?
Yeah, so I
Obviously.
think so here I think I have this weird thing where like, and that's something that turns me on when I have sex now is like
North Face jackets?
No. I always wear a North Face jacket. No, know, like, I like to like bite the pillow or whatever. I like to be silenced, I guess, because I grew up sharing a room with my sister, so I had to masturbate quietly, you know, so like, so she wouldn't know what I was doing or whatever. So
I did too.
Yeah,
that makes a lot of sense now.
I think all things that turn you on are learned behaviors from when you were a kid.
Yeah. So
no, but that sharing a room thing really is real, because now, I mean, I share an apartment with my grandmother now, and I'm just like,
and she's masturbating all the time.
All the time. Yeah, it's just her and Steve Harvey, and ding, ding, ding.
So my question is, since you were able to achieve an orgasm with the womanizer, it's good that your toy and I have the same code name.
It looks like a lipstick.
Wow,
it's so
lipstick.
Cute. Okay, so not too big.
It's like a gorilla lipstick.
Oh, it's adorable.
Have you sent it to other women or endorsed it to women who've never gotten orgasm?
Well, yeah, they're her sponsor.
Right, but what has been their success rate?
So I literally, this last episode, had a woman on. She had never come before. She's 50 years old.
What?
Wow.
Yeah.
So like 3 years older than you.
3 years older than me. And yeah, she did it like the first time she used the womanizer.
Really?
Yeah. And her husband, we interviewed him too, and it was just like they've tried everything.
Really?
Yeah.
And how? Because I know you have a boyfriend still, correct?
Yeah.
How does he feel knowing that this is has he looked at how this works on you and tried to somehow mimic
emulate
that?
It, yeah.
You know what I mean?
You can't but like you can't really. You can't really. It's too much. It's honestly.
That almost worked for me.
I know, but it's not even like. I don't find that even attractive. Like I would just like rather the
put lipstick on him like that thing.
Rather the person just like be there and like we can make out and stuff, and then like this thing can do its damn job.
So have you used that while you're having sex?
Oh yeah.
Too? Okay,
like
so
a lot.
So do you have to be like having sex from behind and then also having that there?
It fits everywhere. It's great.
It fits everywhere.
It's amazing. But I just prefer, like, there's so much more intense, and it's so much more of a sure thing, and it just, like, I'm out of my head. I don't like relying on another person.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, you can be here while the enjoyment's going on, but, like, I don't want any pressure on anyone.
Yeah,
and
it's a lot of pressure.
Do you think that had a lot to do with it also? Like, if you could remove that part of your brain that worries about this is a dude trying to make me happy, that you might reach it easier?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, it's hard for me to come.
I'm like a psychopath.
Oh.
Like, I just think too much. Like, and
I think that's the number one reason for most women is that they're just too much in their own head, and men are never in their head. They don't care.
Yeah,
that's
no, you're
true.
in your other head, your little head.
We don't care. I mean, I think that's the big deal.
It's true. And like literally, like I fucked somebody who I wanted to fuck for like years recently, and I had to like really like talk myself through it to stop thinking about it. Although I smoke a lot of weed too, so maybe I don't know, because sometimes weed helps sex and it's like fun and you like don't think about it, but sometimes I don't know, I smoked and then I was like, oh my god, I need to relax. You need to relax. You're not
were you relaxed in the lead up to the sex? Because I feel like if you had been building it up for such a long time with that person that you wanted to fuck, like, could you communicate properly with them?
I don't know. I was drunk.
You were okay.
I think that's the biggest mistake a lot of women make. Like, if in the courtship phase, if you make a guy wait too long, there's no way it's going to live up to the expectation.
Oh, totally. But no, I didn't make him wait. He made me wait.
Yeah,
well,
fine.
he had a girlfriend for a long time.
Okay.
And then
So
he broke up with
he's
her.
Respectable, not that he made you wait.
You were waiting in the wings.
Yeah.
Waiting in the wings, yeah.
We
are waiting in the wings for you. Any chance I can get to slide some Hamilton in there. Yeah, so basically he had a girlfriend, and then they broke up, and then I was like sliding in his DMs again.
The world will never be the same again. Okay. Hamil come.
Just you wait. So, yeah, basically he had a girlfriend. Then I slid in his DMs again once he broke up with that girlfriend. And then he was like, Lindsey, you need to stop. I have a girlfriend. And I was like, I thought you broke up. And he was like, no, another girlfriend. Yeah, I was like, what the fuck? So then it was another year of that. And then...
Wow, that's a long time.
Yeah, but and it's funny because I'm like, I don't know. Once I have my mind set on somebody I want to fuck, I like have to do it, I guess. But like
little check mark.
Yeah. And I was like, I said this to him, and I don't know if this was fucked up, but I was like, it's like when you wait on a long, like you're like waiting for a new roller coaster to come out, and you wait on a long ass line,
like,
and
this
then you get on.
ride better be good.
Yeah, and then you get on. It's the same as all the other rides and over in less than 5 minutes. So I don't know if he's gonna want to have sex with me again, but
do you want to have sex with him again?
That's the thing. No, it wasn't really over in 5 minutes.
Okay,
It was was a joke, but
Like, I feel like, is he so spectacular for you to wait through 2 girlfriends and like a semi-good fuck sesh?
So when we fucked actually, I like the time when I was in my head about it was when I wasn't drunk, when we woke up in the morning and we had sex, because we fucked. Well, I was drunk, he wasn't. We fucked when I was drunk, and then we went to sleep, and then we woke up and fucked again and had smoked, and so that was when I was in my head about it. I'm pretty sure it was fun the night of, but I like don't remember much.
Is this somebody that you would want to date?
I think that I had the idea in my head that I would want to date him, but then realistically, it was just like this fabricated story in my head that like he was going to be perfect and he wasn't. And then realistically, we don't even have the same sense of humor, and like we probably wouldn't even like each other like that. But he was fun to fuck, and I would fuck him again. And he ate my pussy a lot, so
that's
I'm down
kind.
for that. And he almost made me come, but it's so hard for me to come with guys. But usually it's when they're eating me out. And
I find that to be generally the case.
Yeah.
It's much easier to make a girl come when you're going down on her.
And
wait, easier?
Much easier than
fucking. Yeah. And I always have to. Like, I think that's why I was thinking mine is like I need pressure on the spot.
Yeah.
Because when I masturbate, I don't like shove my fingers in there or anything, and I'm not like using any suction type thing or vibrator, but I just do a lot of pressure in this like one spot.
Okay.
And so when I have come, like the few times I've come with guys was when I have come like riding somebody's dick before when I'm really doing the work, but it's when I like have to push their head really hard on my vagina. And I'm like, I'm probably gonna hurt them. Like I'm like suffocating them with my fucking pussy. But but it's often I don't know if I can't get out of my head or what. I'll be like about to come and I'm like, it's like, and then it's like anticlimactic.
Yeah, I don't. There's something about making somebody stay longer than you think they want to that also sucks when they're going down on you. You're just like, do you even want to be here?
Yeah.
I think for most men, there's a sense of achievement, and they don't mind waiting a little longer.
Right, yeah.
To me, as a single man for a long time, if I can make a girl come before we even have sex, when I'm just going down on her, I'm like, all right, I got this. Like now we're good. No matter what happens after this, it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
we're good now.
Because you feel accomplished. Yeah. And I feel like actually a lot of comedians are more, I like only fuck comedians these days. Yeah. It's ridiculous, but it's just the kind of people I like.
Is the DM guy with the 2 girlfriends back to back a comedian?
Oh, yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, we probably know him.
I'm sure
oh, yeah. Remy knows him. No, we're not saying names.
Oh,
but
shit.
We're not saying names. But what's it called? I think that I don't know if it stems from like a lot of comedians are insecure or what, like, but they want you to come. Like they really care about you coming, which is really nice.
Yeah,
on episode 9, I had Dan Soder and Mark Norman on, and they
That's the episode I listened to.
Nice. Okay, so they likened it to bombing if you can't make a girl come.
Yeah.
And it's just like they need applause and praise and shit, and so that's
Wouldn't you feel the same if you didn't make a guy come? Like if he couldn't come, that would...
I have cried.
Yeah.
Like
hilarious.
Over like whiskey dick. I've been like, I'm fat.
Yeah.
Like, not good stuff.
I just recently was talking about this because I don't normally hook up with girls, but like I do sometimes. I think it's like a scale, I'm definitely more like, I like guys more, but I still like girls.
Yeah.
And I was saying how whenever I get drunk, I end up making out with some fat chick. So I'm like, when I feel fat, I should just be like, girl, don't worry, you're into that. Like, why am I upset?
That's so true.
I just think it's so crazy that I like will look at myself and be like, you're fucking disgusting for having like a little bit of fat on my stomach. But then I'll hook up with these girls who are huge.
It's also, I think it's great that most women are attracted to mind and not body type.
That's probably it.
Find a guy that you're not attracted to physically, but he makes you laugh, or he has some sort of characteristic that you find appealing, and then all of a sudden you're sliding into his DMs for 2 years. So I think that...
And he looks like a fucking child.
That's what's great for guys like me. I'm not in great shape. I'm not great looking. I happen to have good...
you have a nice face.
I'm okay. I'm older than everybody.
There's good things.
And
you're not fat.
I wasn't saying it for compliments of any kind. I'm just saying that there are way better looking dudes in way better shape than I.
Sure.
And I've pulled girls way out of my league because I'm able to...
Over those guys.
Over those guys that can know how to talk to a girl better than they do.
You got swag.
Yeah, it's more about, usually, as this comes from working strip clubs for so long, the hottest girl in the club usually made the least amount of money.
Why?
Because
she didn't work as hard.
Yeah, and guys were still, even though she would 100% say yes 100% say yes, they still were intimidated to go up to the hottest girl on the planet.
That too.
And that just shows you that all you need to do is ask 90% of the time.
Yeah.
Confidence.
I use Instagram as a dating model. I really do. Go on Instagram, look for hot girls, ask them out on the DM. Say something stupid.
Yeah.
1 out of every 20 will say yes, or every 30, whatever it is. There's mathematics to it. That it's just simple
But you
formula.
have a confidence too, because like if you're going up to, I mean, these girls objectively have like the best bodies in the game.
Yeah.
So
I don't care at all. I feel like every guy can get every girl on the planet given the right situation. Meaning she has to be single, he had to say the right thing, whatever that is.
Yeah.
There is a formula, not necessarily, there's a situation that could arise where every guy could get every girl.
I feel like I've heard this monologue in Hitch.
It's true.
I do think that comedians realize that too, because it's like all they have to do is make a girl laugh.
Yeah, Jay, so very often on SDR, there's a hot
And prove
porn
that you
star.
have cool friends.
Yeah,
That's a big thing too.
Jay will always tell the girl to come see his comedy because he knows if she sees him on stage, she's going to find him attractive.
Oh, yeah.
And I often have yelled at him. There's many times where the girl's saying yes on air to having a threesome with him and Christine, but because he's this delusional thing, he needs her to see him do comedy first.
Sure.
Weird,
Because then it makes
really?
him feel like, oh, she likes me because I made her laugh.
Yeah.
And he needs to get that validation. And because of that, he's fucked up every threesome. Because by the time the show is done, we go to the stand, we wait for him to go on stage, he does his set. The girl's either passed out, went home. Like it's never worked out. Where I was saying, Jay, just leave with her from right now. Just go. But he won't do it. He needs them to see him on stage.
So Christine likes girls too?
Christine's like girls, yeah.
Oh, cool.
Very much so.
We were actually thinking about doing an episode with them, but they have too much Skankfest shit going on right now.
Right now,
So we'll wait. This is our little junior intel
Yeah.
until their episode. Did you ever? Are you a threesome person?
I've had 3, 4, 5s, and 6-somes.
How does that work?
Yeah, I've had, all
That's
the
an
girls.
orgy.
If all the girls are bisexual, it really doesn't matter what I'm doing.
No, but you've been with just
I've been with
you
4 girls
and
and once, twice, with just me, 4 girls and me. And then I was in a couple of I've gone to sex clubs and I've been in orgies and shit like that. I don't really care. It's all fine.
You ever DP?
Yeah.
So have you ever DP'd a vaginal DP? Like 2 dicks in 1 pussy?
No, I did one time. Me in the vagine and the guy in the ass. That's the only once.
Only once.
I'm not.
Could you feel his dick through the vaginal
I'm not
walls?
really into the
Are you still friends?
It was at a sex club. I didn't. know
Okay,
the dude.
okay.
But I don't normally like. I like the PVA, the Penis Vagina Association, be more vagina than penis. And generally, I don't like if it's more than me in the room with the dude. Like unless it's like at a sex club or something like that where there's gonna be guys. But generally, I think most guys, if you ask them the 2 things they want with a girl, it's a threesome and anal. That's really number 1 and number 2 for 85% of men.
Literally number 2.
Yeah.
Literally. And then there's some other fetishes and stuff, but that's probably
Some
number 1.
guys are really into DP too, though.
Yeah,
I feel like a lot of guys say they would like to have a threesome, but also don't have the sexual prowess to be able to uphold a
Sometimes, yeah. You need bisexual girls so they can take care of each other.
Right,
Yeah,
exactly.
and that when the most successful events of those that I've had was when the girls loved each other. They were super into each other. I just happened to be a penis floating around the room here and there.
Yeah.
I dated a girl for a year that would just wake me up and say, I'm coming over with 2 girls. And just find girls and bring them over.
That is so rock and roll.
Yeah. Seriously.
How did you get into that whole? Because you're a musician too.
I mean, I'm a really horrible guitarist, but I wouldn't call myself a
But
musician.
DJing was
I worked
the
in
first
rock clubs.
entree.
I worked in.
Okay.
I promoted rock clubs in New York when I was a kid. Started with regular trendy clubs, and then my love was always from a relatively young age, like 18 or something, was really rock and roll. So I started running all the big rock clubs here in New York. You're both too young, but Limelight and Lemoore and Palladium, all these big clubs.
I know what all those are. I have older relatives.
Yeah, your grandmother and I used to party at the same time.
I think we talked about this the first time we met, but I had an obsession with Guns N' Roses when I was in 8th grade, and I used to watch all of these VH1 documentaries about them and their groupies and stuff, and I'd be like, I wish I could just go back in time and be a
suck
groupie.
Axel's cock.
Be a groupie. That was
Yeah.
that was my dream which I think is like a very like
That's very funny.
Fucked up dream.
strange, fucked up
And that would be
dream.
my shtick for a long time, because I used to host a lot of events at
Mm-hmm.
rock clubs and stuff. So I'd bring a girl, hey, we're going to go to a concert. And I'll be right back, and get on stage and introduce the band, but not tell her. And then definitely going to get laid after that.
Then you
know?
look so much cooler
Yeah.
because you weren't like hyping it up.
Yeah, exactly. I wouldn't say anything. I just kind of, I'll be right back. It just didn't. I'm on stage.
That's amazing.
Have you ever had a threesome with two dudes?
No, I would love to.
Have you had a
but-
threesome?
Yeah, but it was like it was kind of a sympathy threesome.
Who was
Wait,
the
who
one
was
that
the
was
simp-
sympathetic?
yeah.
You?
No. It ended up being very strange, but it was a friend of mine and a guy that I really, really, really liked. So that's not a great thing to do or whatever, but she had just been dumped by her boyfriend of like 7 years or something, and it was like Valentine's Eve.
Wait a minute. So
And
Did you
so
end up
we,
in
like-
that situation?
did she ask you, can I
She
come
was-
home with you
no,
too?
she was like hitting on him, and I could tell there was like something or whatever. And I was just like, let's just go back or whatever, and like
You're
we
like,
can just
"All
all
right."
hang out or whatever. And I was dating another guy at the time who was bi or 90% gay and 10% straight, and I like fit into the 10% of
10%.
women or whatever.
Weird.
So I was like, oh well, he's so fucking cool, and he was a musician.
That's like my brother, actually. We were just having this conversation yesterday.
Oh, nice. He's like gay, but he was like, yeah, you fit into the 10%. Like we were dating for like 2 weeks or whatever. And then this other guy, but it wasn't like official, but this other guy and the girl were all together or whatever. And I was like, I should be cooler so that he thinks I'm cooler and like more open and shit.
Yeah.
So I just like went for, and it was like, I couldn't have been less interested in the girl.
Yeah, no, that's the worst. If you don't like the girl, it's so bad.
horrible.
I was disgusted watching them have sex.
Ew, really?
Wow, it sounds so hot.
They refused to use condoms.
Ew.
Ah.
I kept throwing it at them from like the corner of the room.
Wait, so did you fuck at all?
We swapped, but I was also feeling like really fat. So like I put.
But when he had sex with you, you made him put a condom on, but he wasn't wearing a condom with her.
Or you just
I don't
accepted and
remember
let
at
it
that
You just said,
point.
"Fuck it."
you?
I was probably like fuck it.
Oh,
But
I haven't had sex without a
Oh.
condom in 20 years.
You
What?
haven't?
Nope.
Guys
That's
are
great.
disgusting.
No, he said
Without.
without.
Oh, good. Good
Without a
job,
condom.
Ralph.
Guys are amazing.
Guys are amazing. Guys like Ralph are amazing. I have a disgusting threesome story to tell you, too.
Yes, please.
From when I was in Cancun. I did have sex with two dudes for the first time.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Very nice.
It was the best thing I've ever done. My biggest accomplishment. I like want to do it again, but I'm like picky about who it would be.
Did you feel gorgeous?
It was a comic and his opener.
Wow.
That's so fun. And did the
That's
opener open for him?
Oh no, he actually
He ate
it
you.
was
He
actually
ate
the
you out, and then
opposite.
the other guy finished it off.
Well, I'll tell you that story first because that was ridiculous. So basically, I went on a date with this guy, and we went to like a wine bar in Sherman Oaks, and what's it called? He was like, "Oh, we're gonna go meet my friend and his girl." We all get wasted, but it turns out that girl had just he just met her on Tinder, and like she ended up coming out. Her name was Cambria. I kept calling her Coheed all night.
That's funny.
And so we end up going back to Dude 2's house, and
with Coheed.
with Coheed, and I fuck Dude 1 on the couch. Coheed fucks Dude 2 on the bed. It's a studio
Wait.
apartment.
Oh, Coheed does. Okay, I thought you
Yeah.
said dude 1 and dude 2 fucked. Okay.
Dude 1, Dude 2 fuck me and Coheed watch. No.
Okay.
Yeah. So Dude 2 fucks Coheed. I fuck Dude 1. Coheed asks Dude 2 to come in her face, which obviously he did.
Mm-hmm.
So, and they were
Were you in
raw
the
dogging
same
it.
room?
In the same room,
Okay.
a studio apartment.
Okay.
So she goes to the bathroom to wash her face, and I'm like hammered. And Dude 1 brings me over to Dude 2 and is like, fuck my girl. And I was like so into it.
You know what's weird, by the way? I've noticed this, that there's a lot of universal truths amongst the male comics that I've met. They all like to double team girls for some reason.
all of them?
It's
Yeah.
a big thing with the comedian
Yeah.
community. They like.
Really?
Yeah.
Where are all these guys?
Yeah, I mean, even the guys on Gas Digital, most of them have fucked a girl with one of the other
What
guys.
is that? Why do you?
I don't know.
why?
I don't know what that is. Whereas most guys like me that are not in the comedy world, it ranks very low on the totem pole of what you would want to do.
Do you think it's because it's like a fun story? Like there's only so many
Maybe.
fun stories.
It's something
that
to
you
do
could-
about them. You know, 'cause comedians, what you all do is you go out and you talk about everything afterwards at a comedy club about this room and that room. It's funny to me as somewhat of an outsider to hear the same and see the same things repeat over and over again.
Yeah.
And one of those stories is double teaming a girl.
Well, I know I've heard Legion of Skanks talk about it like back in the day.
Yeah, they've all done it with each other.
Yeah.
And then, most of the comics on the network, that's one of the stories that they do that for.
Hilarious.
And I do think you're right in that a lot of comics do things for the story.
Yeah.
Probably.
I know now.
And it's like the regular guy, like you can't blame it on being like, well, I love stories, like it's funny if two comics, like two guy comics are like, do something embarrassing and then they can talk about it later or whatever. Whereas two regular guys would be like, is this me now?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, when I was in high school, I knew guys who did that all the time. So I knew a lot of guys who have done it.
The flip side argument of that is that I think comedy draws a certain type of mentality, and that person is the person who is okay with that.
Yeah, maybe.
Usually from a broken home, usually not a great relationship with their mother or father. There's a lot of universal truths that are similar, whether it's porn or comedian, that kind of fall into the same storylines.
Yeah, I just want to say my parents are still together.
And mine are too.
Not saying they're not 100%, but I would say that almost every comic on the network, I could tell you like a 6-line synopsis, and that could be almost any person.
I felt really sad that I didn't enjoy the threesome after the next few days. That I was just like, I should have really been in the moment. Like,
no,
I remember
I've had threesomes I didn't enjoy too.
Her and I would just like make out like a tiny and touch each other's boobs, and I was like, oh my god, we're so good at acting.
But as a guy who's had sex with two women that were not into each other, there is nothing
You don't
fun
enjoy
for
that.
for anybody.
Yeah.
It was like just having sex with two separate women that weren't even.
That's what it was.
There's nothing fun about that.
Yeah, I've had multiple situations. Yeah, it's like somebody's waiting in line.
Yeah.
It's like you have a client. Like
and then it's like, ooh, fun, smaller refractory period.
Tagging
right?
each other in a tag team wrestling match. There's nothing fun about that.
Yeah, well, that sounds more fun. But it's like when you're
not allowed. You're naked.
I did hair for a long time. It would be like if I had one client waiting for me and I'm stressing out about it because I need to work on her, but she's waiting. But I'm like going back and forth between the two.
And you're like, can somebody else prepare the foils?
Yeah, exactly.
You guys, this has been so much fun. I'm so glad that I had you both in. I'm going to have you back because I know that there's much more stories. Lindsey, tell us where we can find you on the internet, about your podcast and shows that you will be in the next coming month.
Yes. At Lindsey Jennings with a Z, LINDSEY JENNINGZ on Instagram and Twitter. I'm going to be doing Roast Masters at Skankfest.
The naked or the regular?
I'm doing the regular. I did naked last year.
I think I'm a judge for the regular.
Sick.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
So we'll see you there.
See if I remember you. See what happens.
Oh my God, yeah. And I'll be on tour with the Suicide Girls all fall. So check out blackheartburlesque.com for those dates. And stay tuned for my podcast, Think and Grow, bitch, coming out this summer.
Woo!
Is the Suicide Girls tour called Blackheart Babes?
Blackheart Burlesque.
Burlesque? Not Suicide
Girls tour.
Listen, I'm not the
That goes back to what I
marketing
was
there.
saying.
We need to talk to them.
Their branding
This
person is an
insane.
idiot. It really boggles
it's
my
like
mind.
the hottest girl. It's so stupid.
It's
okay.
like they're doing things to try and not help their own brand.
I think
know.
they don't even have a branding person. They literally just like have a rotation of different girls in and out all the
We got to
time.
figure
Don't
this
understand
out.
it. I don't
Ralph,
understand it,
help
Paul,
them
doesn't
out.
God's
Also,
sake.
help out our listeners. Where can they find you?
Very easy. Follow me everywhere at I Am Ralph Sutton and the SDR Show, Sex, Drugs, and Rock and Roll Show. Always in the top 50 on iTunes Comedy.
Always.
And Gas Digital Network, which has about 16 great shows on the network, growing every week. We're announcing, I think, 3 or 4 more shows.
Sick.
And we just opened our studio in East Village, which is officially opening this coming Monday, and that's gasdigitalnetwork.com.
That's awesome. I just have to ask this at the end of every episode to be a courteous host after a sexual experience. Lindsey, did you finish?
Yes, I did.
Okay, Ralph, did you
I
finish?
seldom do, but I think I did.
Okay, great. Thank you for coming.
Yay.
And we'll see you next time on How
It's
Come.
not you, it's me. I try so hard to finish honestly. They say you'll know when you go all the way from A right down to O. Oh no, I think that I still got a ways to go. Oh, I'm sick of this and I have got to know. How come? How come? How come I can't achieve? How come I can't achieve? I'm rolling up my sleeves. I'm rolling up my sleeves. Oh baby, I believe these guests can help. 'Cause I can't do it by myself. I wanna just